Hi, I'm Joe Bear Jr. with First Integrity Mortgage Services. I'm the Chief Yes Strategist and CEO. And today we have a very special guest, my father, Joe Bear Sr.
Joe, I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about
Yeah.
because it's so close to me.
Right.
And I mean, this is bare bones beginning.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
when
and
I,
that's where it's funny because as Kaylin and I were talking about it, she hadn't. And for those of you in the audience, Kaylin's our director of marketing, head of marketing. And as we were talking about the story of the name, she's like, I've never heard that.
Mhm.
So let's do a video with your dad.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
So I just thought it was cool because, I mean, obviously as a child, I lived through it, and I wasn't fully aware of what was going on. I was
Sure.
a middle schooler, but it just, one of the coolest things to me was that you didn't just go and lease a big office and just move right in. You guys planned everything out. And one of your best friends, Chuck Copeland, let you use his space. And not only did he let you use his space, but he also was quite instrumental in a few other things.
Absolutely.
So do you want to tell the story of how the company name came about?
Sure. When you have to submit your name to the state for approval. And I came up with about 4 different names that I thought would be good names. And every one of them was shot down by the state because it was too close to somebody else's name. And I have the attorneys going, you have to choose a name before we can incorporate. And so anyway, Chuck came over and visited me at my home, which was my kitchen table, and that was where it was formed. Anyway, he looked at it. He goes, this is no way to do it. I have an empty room in my office, and I will put up a table and a phone, and you can get it started on something a little bit more that you're comfortable to, which was great because when I left my previous company, I had about 75 employees. And here I am at the kitchen table, starting this thing from scratch and looking around and
What do you do next?
what do I do next?
Right.
So I was sitting with Chuck, and Chuck said, well, what are you going to name it?
Now, had Mavis started yet?
No.
Okay. Got it.
No. My partner had not left her existing position yet. So it's just simply Chuck and I.
Got it.
And he said, well, what are you going to name it? I said, well, these are the names, and none of them were any good. And he said, Joe, when I think of you, I think of a man of integrity. Why don't you call it Integrity Mortgage? And I thought about it for a while, and I thought, boy, it sounds a little bit, it just needs something. He said, well, throw First in front of it. And I go, First Integrity. Yeah, I kind of like the way that sounds. So I called up my older brother, and I told him the name of it, and he goes, whoa.
Was this Uncle Tom or Uncle Ray?
This was Tom.
Okay.
And
who was a real estate, he actually owned a real estate company at the time.
And he was president of the real estate board too.
Okay. All right.
So I told him the name First Integrity, and he said, whoa, do you know that puts you in the sight line of anybody that feels you don't meet those standards? And I said, Tom, then we should. That is the name, because we have to meet those standards to be different than anyone else. So that became the name, and it's zipped through the state, and First Integrity was formed.
That's cool. And I forgot about Uncle Tom being part of that story as
right,
well. And,
right.
It's funny because a lot of times when you hear stories of how companies are named, they're paying marketing firms to come up with a different name, or it's just the founder's name or something along those
Sure,
lines.
sure.
And this was just a gut reaction from someone that was so close to you, that was also in the finance industry as well. And
Absolutely.
it made sense. And here we are 30 plus years later.
That is what amazes me, that 30 I how many it 30 plus years
Yeah.
is right.
March, it'll be 31.
31. And it warms my heart, the kind of people we were able to attract, and who some of which I knew, some of which I didn't, but they were looking for that kind of an environment. And not only did we sell the name of that environment, we practice it, and we created systems to give the customer that experience,
Absolutely.
which was totally one of the better things I've done.
I couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
Yeah. The name First Integrity, it's our North Star. It guides us through everything we do. And we know that there's a lot of weight and perhaps a bigger target, to your point, on our back with a name like that. But it's something we're proud of, and it's something that will carry on for years and years to come.
Absolutely. And what made it so perfect was having you raised on those ideals and taking the bull by the horn and making sure that we have kept that in that same vein, and that's why it will be around for 30 plus years.
Wonderful.
More.
I hope so. Thank you.
Thank
I know
you.
so.
Yeah.